Yes, welcome back to Football Heritage TV. I'm SAVVA, that's Stel. He's got his hat on. I've not put a hat on. Welcome to Ask Us Anything. The first one since Tottenham became the Europa League champions of 2025. Not the European champions, as people keep telling me. That will be PSG or Inter Milan. There's lots of questions already. Get your questions in. And Stel, I have a feeling tonight, I've got a feeling this might be a nicer show for me. And I feel like there might be a lot of questions for you. What do you reckon?
Line them up one by one. I will answer all the questions. As long as they're not rude and offensive, I'll answer your questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, get what you want in.
Worries.
I will allow the words flip and flop, but I will not allow any swearing, any rude words. I think I've got a lot of them sectioned off from my YouTube settings anyway. But please smash the like button. I'm getting a bit concerned. We get loads of viewers and people don't smash the like button. So please do smash that. I've got a poll in the chat for you, just a random one saying, would you sell Romero for 70 million plus? Yes or no? Simple question. So smash that. Any super chats, those questions will be asked first, as you can imagine. But should we get straight back into it still? Should we get straight back into some questions? Would you like?
Let's go.
Right. Let's have a look. Here we go. So big up to each and every one of you, by the way. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you for helping me get over the 18K mark as we're now pushing towards 19K, or should say 20. I should be aiming higher. Let's have a look. Big up to everyone in the chat. Henry Thong TV said, would you take an Atleti player like De Paul plus cash for Romero, as the rumoured offer is around 35 million? Still, I think for me, let me just start, because I think most of them are going to be for you tonight. Listen, I think Rodrigo De Paul would have absolutely no interest in joining Tottenham Hotspur. I don't know why he would. I absolutely would take Rodrigo De Paul and cash. I can't see it happening. Stel, what are you saying? Rodrigo De Paul, Argentina World Cup winner, midfielder for Atleti?
I would keep Romero. Personally, I'd keep Romero. I wouldn't do that deal. Listen. I've never been a hater of Romero. I like Romero. My issue is that he has a lot of bozo moments in him, but you know what? He's got this knack of not losing finals, and he's got experience that a lot of our squad doesn't have. So I want to keep experienced players and not lose them. I'd rather replace players that are either too old, like Ben Davies, or players who lack experience, like Ashley Phillips. What's the point of keeping him if he's not going to play? He's got no experience. So I'd rather do that. So for me, I'd keep Romero at Spurs.
Romero in, Lee out. Big up, Lee. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, look, I think the key thing that I've said about this is, I think if Romero wants to be here, I keep him. If Romero has any message to the club that he wants to go and wants to speak to Atletico, that's where I think I let a player go. That's just me. But we'll see, won't we? He came out and he said, look, we must stick together. We must carry on this path. Let's see if he's a man of that word. Let's see if he wants to leave or not. Let's see. But big up to you. Really appreciate that, Henry Thong TV. The next question is, let's go straight in. Oh, man, Danny. Hello, Dan. How are you? It's a question. If Ange is given the chance you say he deserves and fucks it up big time, can we say you've got the Tottenham you deserve? Oh, Danny with some little kidney punches there, Stel. What are we saying?
Yes, it's weak jabs. I don't understand why I deserve a club that continues to fail. Why do I deserve that? I support them. I go to games. I cheer them on. I travelled to Spain to cheer them on and be the 12th man over the line. Why do I deserve that? I don't understand why I deserve that. Because I have a different opinion to you, it means I deserve failure. No, I don't understand it. I mean, nice try, but mate, I support my club. I want them to win. If Ange fails, then we bring in another manager, and he needs to then improve us and win trophies. But I don't deserve failure. No Spurs fan deserves 2 trophies in 25 years. Nobody deserves that, especially when we pay the highest prices or the second highest prices in the Premier League. No.
Yeah, listen, I think it's interesting. I think that these conversations were always going to happen with whatever happened in this final. Just a few quick updates. Sorry, just quickly from Fabrizio Romano. Is this one's just shocked me. The Fiorentina head coach Palladino has resigned today, so he's leaving the job with immediate effect. Bayer Leverkusen are at advanced stages for Brentford goalkeeper Mark Flecken. Brentford are waiting to see what Liverpool want for Kelleher. That would be a good move, I think, for him. And Rashford and his representatives have had positive talks with Barcelona. Always good to fail upwards, I think. You know, why not? Fail upwards to La Liga champions. Let's go to another question, shall we? Big up to Danny for that. Big up, Brad. Here we go. Let's get stuck straight in. Here we go. Stel, why can't you be more like Sav? I'll add the A on. Instead of being a flip-flop. Stel, why can't you be more like this guy?
First of all, I'm not a flip-flop. I said if Ange wins the Europa, he deserves to be given a chance. I said it 3 months ago. Go on Tottenham away. The receipts are there. I said it on this channel as well. I never once believed he'd win the Europa. I said there's no way we're beating Frankfurt away. Bodo Glimt, I think this is the team that surprises us, the team that we least expect will stun us. I said all along that we'd play this one team that would shock us. I got it wrong. And regarding the final, I thought the heritage, the DNA of Man United would win it. But I got it wrong. So I'm honouring what I said, which was, if we win it, Ange deserves to stay. I said that on the basis he's not winning jack shit. Right? I said it on the basis I had no belief he's winning a damn thing. I also said to Sim, if Ange wins the Europa, I will come on your channel, Sim, and I will apologise to you. And I did that yesterday. So I'm not flip-flopping. I'm sticking to what I said. It comes across like a flip-flop because I've destroyed Ange all season. I still have massive concerns over Ange. I am worried about him developing players, being more tactically flexible, managing games depending on the type of opposition we play in the league, especially. But I did say if he proves to me he can win, then he deserves a crack at it. So I'm sticking to what I said, guys, and I've upset the whole YouTube stratosphere. It's like
look, you're an utter disgrace, still, an utter disgrace.
What's a disgrace? Is you don't know how to spell my name. It's not how you spell Stell. It's one L. It's one L. If I'm a disgrace because I've changed my opinion on one thing. I haven't changed my opinion on Ange. I don't think he's a brilliant coach manager. I haven't changed my view on that. I need him to prove that to me. I've changed my view on him being given a chance to prove me wrong again. That's where I've changed my view, and I'm sticking with that. I think Ange can prove me wrong again. I'm going to go with it. And if it goes wrong, no doubt we'll be back here in October with a new manager, and everyone's going to call me every other name that they haven't called me so far. Bring it on.
Oh, we do laugh, don't we? We do laugh.
SAVVA, do you know what? The thing is, right? It doesn't affect me one bit because what I've enjoyed this week and what I've experienced is a memory I'll take with me for life. And no one can take that away from me. So if people want to call me out and say this and that, it's cool. I don't mind. It's all opinions at the end of the day. But look, I've chosen to just change my view on one thing. And the one thing I've changed my view on is whether he deserves to be given more time. That's what I've changed my view on. If Chris before you said about you said if any fan is Ange in, you're not. Yeah, because I believed that Ange wouldn't win the trophy, Spurs. I think a lot of fans are missing the point. They're missing the key thing I keep saying. I got it wrong, right? It's almost that part of what I'm saying people are dismissing. I'm admitting I got it wrong. I've said all year he's not winning jack shit. He's no chance his tactics will beat a team in Europe. No chance this manager lifts. I got it wrong. Everything I said, he did the opposite. He won the trophy. So what more can I do? What do you want me to do?
Listen, look, each to their own, each to their own. And Liam,
SAVVA, you think you haven't got it wrong because you're going by the league. You put a lot of emphasis on the league. I've put more emphasis on the trophies than the league. But for me, I slammed him in the league because I never believed he'd do that trophy bit. But because he's done the trophy bit, I'm like, no, hold on, Stel. 1 minute, I've got to think about this again. Whereas for you, you're like, no, I don't need to think about this again. That fucking league is unacceptable under any circumstances. And I get it. Anyone who's Ange out still, I don't have an issue with that, by the way. I don't have an issue with it at all. I 100% understand why people want him gone, why they've had enough. I get it. And I'm not against people who think that way. I just feel, based on what he's done, he deserves a chance at it. That's all. And I think it's just shocked people because I was so hardcore, fucking awful manager, dog shit, what the hell? I don't know, man. He showed me something no manager showed me before. Maybe I'm wrong again. Maybe I'm wrong again. I don't know.
Look, we'll see. Liam Pitt has put in about 5 messages. He's desperate to address the tattoo situation, which has got very, very boring. I can only say this so many times. I was having a laugh about that tattoo. I'm never going to get a real tattoo on my body. I think they're horrible. What I have said I will do, and what I have shown you, Stel, and the others in the group, is that I have ordered I've ordered like 30 fake tattoos of Angepostecoglou saying, I always win in my second season, mate, and I will wear one every day for a month, right? What I won't do is get a real tattoo of Angepostecoglou on my body when I have no tattoos. And Jesus Christ, I tell you what, I said that in such jest, and everyone now has gone on as though it was a bet. Dude, I've said this a million times. Liam, I'm not going to say it again. They're on order. Everyone in my WhatsApp group has seen that they're on order. I showed everyone on my show the other day that they're on order. When they arrive, I will wear one on stream every day for 30 days, or 20 or 30 they come in a pack of. I can't do more than that. But it's getting really boring. Everyone just asking about the tattoo. I can't keep explaining the same thing. But at least you spelt my name and Stel's name right, so I'll give you that. This guy's very interesting. I'm liking this guy. SAVVA is a disgrace. Always negative. No positivity. Thanks for shouting that, Rawabara Abera. He's followed up. Let's see what he's followed up with, shall we? And said, big up Stel. Small down SAVVA. Good. I like that. Small down. Like that. Good. Let's do that. Small down. And Tracy Jackson said, Henry Talks Football has announced that Garcrest has agreed things of Arsenal. Well, if Henry said it, true. I'll be honest. I've just checked Fabrizio Romano's page. I check it once an hour. And I can't see anything on there. I've checked Plettenberg. I can't see anything on there. And I've checked Ornstein. 3 people who I think would probably have that information, and they haven't. So I'm just going to disregard that comment, Tracy. But thank you very much for asking. Isn't it? Oh, hang on. He's back. What do we think of SAVVA? Go on. Call me something I've not been called in the last 24 hours. Go on. I go on. See if you can be that imaginative to call me something that I've not been called. Gee, isn't it funny still on YouTube? People think because you're on camera, it means they can just call you whatever they like, whatever they want.
Yeah. It's like you're not a human being. Like face to face, none of them would say any of this. Not a single person would dare say this.
Yeah.
You know?
He's back.
Do you know, on Sunday, right? On Sunday, I went to the Spurs game, last game of the season. And this guy come up to me and he goes to me, I'm not going to mention his name, right? He told me his YouTube handle name. So the name he uses in the chat. And I said, and I leant back, I went like this, I was like, yeah, you're right. Because I know who he is. All he's done is fucking blast me, being a right sod. And he goes, look, I don't agree with you, mate, but I just wanted to come and say hello. And I want to say, fucking abuse you give me, and you want to shake my hand. I shook his hand, but it just goes to show people are very different in the real world, and they've got like liquid courage when they're behind the keyboard. He was an all right bloke, to be fair to him, but I really wanted to tell him, mate, the things you've said. But I was in a good mood. I wasn't going to ruin it. So,
do you know what I find hilarious about it?
It's mad.
Do you know what I find truly baffling about this? Like,
I wanted to shake your hand. I wanted to shake your hand.
Bearing in mind this is football, right? Like, I think yesterday was I would say an eye opener, but it wasn't an eye opener. I'm invited on to a big channel in We Are Tottenham TV, and I'm just looking at the thousands and thousands of people in the chat just going toxic, prick, negative, wanker. And you know, when you're sitting there going, aren't we meant to just be talking about football? Like, it's truly, truly mind-blowing how personal people want to get. And yet, whenever I see people, whenever I've been to the stadium, whenever I'm out and I see people, are you that guy from YouTube? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't really like you on there, but you're all right. Well, yeah, because when you see me on YouTube, I'm literally giving a football opinion. I don't wander around to bars and pubs and restaurants going, oh, fucking hands out. Like, ridiculous. Listen, we talked about this morning, Matt. I would take him for 40 million rather than Tell, but he's going to Barcelona by all accounts. It looks like Rashford is going to Barcelona, and fair play to him. But thank you, Mr. DK. Thank you. Anyway, let's get back to some questions. SAVVA, the Arsenal fan. There's another one. Good. Yes. Don't know why I'm an Arsenal fan, but they're all out tonight, Stel. They're all out tonight. They're all out tonight. I was just saying what your predictions next season. I'm saying, why does everyone be rude to you? Yeah, listen, it's fine. I think Stella and I are two people who are very used to it. But do you know what? Somebody said to me yesterday, before we get to a question, I was actually out yesterday for dinner with a couple of friends early in the evening. And I, you know what it's like, Stel. You know when someone makes a video about you or a post about you, and everyone in the world feels they need to tell you,
and clip it and repost it and share it.
Yeah. And I'm looking at it. I said to my mates at dinner, I was like, "Oh, there's someone else has made a video." Oh, and there was two in the space of about 20 minutes, and then a third one in the evening. And my mate turned around and went, "Well, you're doing something right. You're doing something right, aren't you? If they feel they need to clip you, your opinion bothers them." Yeah, they said, "Do you clip people?" I said, "I never clip anyone. I never clip anyone. I never repost clips of. Have you ever seen me do that? I never ever reclip posts of anyone."
It's because they know your voice has impact. They know. It is. Someone said it to me in Bilbao. They said, "I like it when you talk on Tottenham away. Not because I always think you're right, but I listen to your voice for some reason. I just think some people have got that voice or that personality that it just punches, and that's what it is, SAVVA. Here we go.
You two are very outspoken. I doubt you would say that to Ange or the players' faces. Now, what makes me laugh about a comment like this? I really hope this is a teenager and not a grown adult. But since football began, hundreds of years ago, people have gathered in parks, pubs, games, and they've debated football. They've talked about players they've liked. They've talked about managers they don't. What on earth has it got to do with saying it's somebody's face? What has that got to do with anything? Do you talk about any actors or actresses? Do you talk about any politicians? Do you talk about movie stars? Like, are we just going to say that you can't critique someone and then you wouldn't say it? It's madness. I don't know why people.
Can I say, if I met Daniel Levy, I would tell him, get out of my club. 100%. If I met Ange in March, I would have said to him, Ange, resign. Please go. Yeah. I would have said it to him. If I saw Brennan Johnson at most stages of this season, I said, Johnson, do us a favour, leave. I would say it to them. I would have said it to all of them. I'd be maybe more diplomatic with it. I wouldn't be, oh, you piece of dog shit, you. But I wouldn't do that. But I'd say, mate, leave, please. I would.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's get to a question. Let's have a look. I mean, Linda said flip flop. I think you've addressed this. Are you comfortable? You've addressed this, yeah.
Listen, Linda, Call me whatever you like. I hope you have a great weekend coming up. Keep calling me names. I get it every single day. Even when people agree with me, I still get called names. So whatever I do, it's just
I always joke with my wife and say I could win the Euro Millions. Come on stream and say everybody in my stream gets £100,000. Somebody would find a way to call me a narcissistic wanker, or you know what I mean? It's just the way it is, unfortunately. Big up to a user who has said, would you take another 17th in the Premier League if you are guaranteed a cup? If so, for how many seasons? I know my answer and Stell's on this, but I'll let Stell's go first. I'll let Stell go first.
Right. So if we won the Europa, which we're not in next season, the Champions League, the FA Cup, 100% I would take 17th. 100% I'd take it right now. If we won the league, I'd have massive concerns. And I explained this to Dan the other day. If the League Cup finals in February, right? Which means you win it in February, March, April, May, you don't need to rotate. You don't need to rest players, all these excuses. There's no excuse to finish 17th whatsoever if you win the League Cup, because there's still 3 months of football to play. Whereas the Europa was end of May, the excuse is, but you had to rest players March, April. So there's an excuse. There's no excuse to be 17th and win a League Cup under no circumstances. So I'd take 17th for every trophy but the League Cup, because that I can't agree with. Not because the Cup's crap, because how have you managed to finish 17th? On what basis? It has to be just utter dog shit left, right and centre. So that's how I look at it. I don't think a lot of people will take an FA Cup in 17th, though. I think most fans wouldn't take that. I would.
I think, you know my opinion, Stel. I wouldn't. I wouldn't unless it's the big boy, unless it's the Champions League. And you know my opinion on that. I think if any team is good enough to win the Champions League, then I'm asking what on earth has gone wrong in the Premier League to finish 17th. If you can beat that caliber of team. So not for me. Not for me at all. I think what we've got to do is kick on. I think we've got to kick on as a club, and we've got to stop asking either or questions. I think what we've got to start doing is saying, can we finish in the Champions League positions and win a trophy? I think that's where we need to get to. How long it's going to take, I don't know. Over to you, Daniel Levy. Over to you, Paratici. Over to you, Johan Lang. Let's see what we buy in. Let's see. Next question. Here we go. It's a good one. Joe said, big up Joe, said, are Man United a better draw for the signing of players more than Spurs, even though we're in the Champions League? I like that. See, that's a good question. That's a thought-provoking question still. What do you reckon? Man United a bigger draw than Spurs still for players?
They're a bigger draw because they pay the money. If we went in for Cunha and we paid the wages, Cunha would come to us, I think. I think Cunha would come to us. Right now, Man United are a joke. They've got no European football. They're a disaster in the league. They're just a mess of a club. But again, if Amrin picks up the phone, I'm building a project. Join me. I always need a couple of years. He can persuade players. If you just said the word Man United, Tottenham, Man United win. They win. They're a global institution, right? Mm-hmm. But right now, today, if Spurs wanted to go toe-to-toe with Man U for players and pay the wages, I think we get the player. Like, as in today. That might not be the case in 2 years. The reason they get these players is because they pay wages we just don't want to pay. So that's... And also, they pay bigger transfers, you know. Was it 75 million for Rasmus Højlund? We will never, ever do that. We're not paying... We'll do stupid things like the odd 50 million, 40 million for Archie Gray, a kid. We'll do some stupid things. We're not paying 70, 75 million. No chance. Yeah. So I think Man United, they're just prepared to push the financial boat out more than us. But if it was just down to name, yeah, Man United win. Let's have it right. They win. You know my opinion on this. I say this every year. I'm told, man, you won't be able to attract people if they're not in the Champions League. And every year, Man United attract people. They do. I think for me, Stella's right on the wages front of things. Yes. I also think that clubs like Man United seem to go out, identify who they want, and they get the deal over the line pretty quickly. When we're in for a player, it always feels like the deal takes forever.
I mean, look last summer. How long did it take? Last summer, the summer before. Felt like it took forever to get Van der Ven done. Last year, we were told that we were working on Solanke all summer. You look at these clubs like Liverpool have gone to Bayer Leverkusen, Frimpong, done. Wirtz, they're in talks with him. You know it will be done within the week. Yeah, like, so for me, I think it is about money, but it's also about urgency. And Man United are a global powerhouse, whether we like it or not, whether they're actually at the top at the time, their marketing, their revenue, everything, they are a massive club. And we've witnessed that. They've not won a league title for how many years and still attract top managers, top players. It's just who they are. Where are we? Let's have a look at the next question. Richie, I think you know the answer to this. I think Stel is saying yes, and I am saying no. I think it's that simple, right? Stel's got big question marks against him. I don't have question marks against him. I'm fully not impressed at all. Unless you want to add anything, Stel?
Yeah, what I would say is this. If we sacked Ange and Glasner became manager, I'm not going to cry about it. I'll be cool with that. I'll be absolutely fine. What I'm not going to accept is we sack Ange and in comes Potter, De Zerbi, this kind. I don't want it. I don't want it. If you're going to sack Ange, bring in someone that we know has got something about them, like genuinely got something about them. But above whether it's Glasner or Inzaghi or Ange, above all that, the reality is this. If this board doesn't change its behaviour and sign quality, not quantity, the next manager for the next season or two, they're going to come unstuck. Whether it's Ange, Glasner, they're going to come unstuck. You know, in 2019, we were in a position of strength. Champions League finalist, Champions League qualification, brand new stadium built. And the excuse was, oh, COVID, oh, the debt, oh, the finance. Oh, okay, all right. Well, now, stadium's built. We financed the debt perfectly well. No COVID. We're back in the Champions League. We've got a bit of pulling power. We're European winners. And we are making more money than we've ever made before. We've already announced the next two concerts, the Indian guy from Bollywood and some other dude from America that's coming. We've got NFL contract. There is no excuse for this club to not go and buy 3 or 4 really, really good players. So Glasner, Inzaghi, Ange, whatever, if the board don't change this summer, listen to me, this is never going to change at this club. We're just going to wait another 5, 6, 8 years for a Carabao Cup, and that'll be us. That'll be us until Levy sells up. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Derek, I think that backs on to what Derek's saying. Do you think Levy is going to spend big? I think backing on from what Stel said, no, I don't want to see a summer full of teenagers. I'll be honest. Yeah. I don't want to see a teenager walk through that door unless they are exceptional. I don't want to see a teenager walk through that door unless we go, yeah, he's mustard. He walks straight into the 11. I don't want to see Matisse Tells, right? I don't want to see Archie Grays. I want to see the Guahis, the Ezes, the Mbuemos. I'm not stupid enough to think we're going to get the best players. Still, I think that's fair to say, right?
I agree, yeah.
But the Guahis, the Ezes, the Mbuemos, these players for me shouldn't be out of our reach. For example, what's stopping Spurs right now going to Brentford and going, we want Mbuemo would be interested in us. I'm sure there's going to be other offers. Newcastle want him, apparently. Man, you do. But what's stopping us going toe-to-toe and doing that? Yeah? So I want my budget spent on Mbuemos, not on Matisse Tells and Archie Grays. Right? No offense to Archie Grays, but we're going in the Champions League now. This is not a time to be testing players. This is a time where you buy in ready-made footballers. Watch what Newcastle do in this window. Watch what Newcastle do. I guarantee you they buy 3 or 4 very good players that walk into the 11. But big up to you. Tracy, I'm going to answer for Stel here and say no. I don't feel anything else needs to be said.
What was it, Stel? Would you want Sean Dyche? No. Fucking hell.
I don't know where
what?
From. Big Sean Dyche comes in. If Spurs sack Ange and bring in Sean Dyche, even then I might have to flip-flop on a few things. He's a very good manager for what he does, Sean Dyche, all right? For what he does, he's very good, but not for what we look for. Avi has said, big up SAVVA and Simios with the nice hat. Question: do you think Richie will go to Everton or Saudi? That's a good one.
I couldn't care less as long as he leaves. I couldn't care less. He can go wherever he wants, right? He's not good enough for Tottenham. He had a good cup final because he worked hard, he put himself about, but as a footballer to go to the next level, nah, come on. He's got to go. We've got to sell him. We've got to sell him.
Yeah. And I guess, Stephen, I guess, you know, if we're looking at however many games people are saying that Ange will have next year, I'm guessing listen, it's a big year. As I've said this a million times, even though people won't listen to me. Everyone knows I don't want him here. But I truly believe we're now at the stage where he is going to be here, and I've made peace with that. Doesn't mean I have to like it, but I've made peace with it. For me, he's got to work on his tactics this summer. He's got to give us an identity. Is that fair, Stel? He's got to give us an identity that doesn't float from what he did in the Europa League to the chaos in the Premier League. I feel like we need a way of playing.
I'm not so bothered about a style. I just want him to win games. This is where, you know, I am the kind of fan that will take a 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 every week as long as we win. He's just got to prove that when we're up against it, he can adapt in the match to keep us in the game and compete so it looks like we can win it. That's what I need to see. He's going to stick to possession-based football, playing out from the back. There's no way he's going to move from that. But there's games where he can't do that. You know, like in the cup final, we just went long every time Bukhara got it. We never once played out from the back. It was long. There's a time and a place for it. It's just whether he can. It's whether he can adapt and he can see. I need to adapt in this moment. It could be 45 minutes in the game, 30 minutes, 70th minute. Adapt. It's whether he can do that. That's the big concern that I've got with him. Massive concern.
Yeah, I listen. I don't disagree. And look, for me, I mean, I do want to see a style. I mean, from that point of view, I just want to see that we're drilled. If I remember the word style, I just want to see that we're well drilled at the back, and finally someone to protect the back four. Like I really, really want someone to protect that back four at all costs. Loads of questions today. Big up to you all. There's 470 of you in it and 115 likes, guys. Come on, right now. That should be getting to 250. Guys and girls, come on. Big up to you as well. We've had 7 new subscribers this show. Come on, we should be getting more. Please subscribe to Tottenham Away as well.
Do you know what? Right, with the number 6, I think we're going to struggle to find a player for this role. So I think we need to. But I think I'm not against Granit Xhaka. You know, I'm not against Granit Xhaka from Bayer Leverkusen. I know he's ex-Guna, but I'm not against it. I'm not against. I think it's called Hujmeland from Sporting Lisbon.
Oh, Hjulmand.
Yeah,
he's a good player. He's a very good player.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad. See, these kind of players, I think, is realistic for us. We're not going to get Zubamendi's and Rodri's. It's not going to happen. We need to.
No. Yeah. Tell you what, Stel, if you haven't seen him, if anyone hasn't seen him, go and look at Richie at Torino. Go and look at this kid, Richie. RICCI. Sits in front of the back four. He's 22, maybe now. Good player. Good player.
See, the perfect player, and I was saying it last season, but he ended up going for cheap to Roma, was it Colomane? Who went from Bayer Leverkusen to Roma.
Are you talking about Manu Kone?
That's it, Manu Kone. He went. See,
don't.
I'd love him. I'd love him at Spurs. These players we can get. We can get these players. You know what I don't want is we're going to take a punt on this kid that we've got some kind of clause with. Who's the guy from Spain, the American lad?
Oh, Cardoso.
Yeah, I mean, it's a punt, isn't it? It's another punt.
Look, I think this is the key thing. So Danny and I actually, we were talking about 3 players that all went to Italian clubs last year that were all cheaper than Gray and all on similar wages. If I'm not wrong, I'll stand corrected if I am. Was Manu Kone to Roma, Kefram Thuram, brother of Marcus Thuram, and son of, who went to Juve, and the other one was Yusuf Fofana that went to AC Milan. These players all went for like less than 30 million euros. And Danny and I did a show where we were saying, get one of them, all big, strong, physical lads that sit like, you know what I mean? They can either do the box to box or the number 6. We bought Archie Gray. I'm not going to make this about Gray, but like that money was there. That money was there to do that, and we didn't. So really disappointing. Let's have a look. Absolutely, my man. Absolutely, we've got to get experience in.
What do you think of there's another player at by Leverkusen. I think it's Andrich. His name's Andrich.
Yeah, Andrich is a good player. I like Andrich. There's so many good players coming out of the Bundesliga. If anyone scouts it properly, there's so many good players. And France seem to get a lot of powerful athletes as well. We all
Villa got Kamara. They got Kamara from Marseille, but he's injured. But he's a good number 6.
What, on a free? They got him on a free.
Oh, they got a free, really? See, you look at that. Look at that. And we're paying £40 million for kids. It's madness.
Well, they showed Villa had a run this year of about 15 games where the midfield 3 was Tielemans, McGinn, and Kamara. 2 of them were on a free transfer, and John McGinn was $2.5 million. It's like,
wow, I know, it's a joke. It's a joke. Absolute joke.
Scouting. Let's go to another question, shall we? Hang on, I think I might have a super chat there. First of all, big up to Martin Knightsbridge. Sorry, Martin, I've butchered your name. Martin out there in Spain. Hope you're well. Been a member for 20 months. Big up to you, my man. So you became a member at the time that Angepostecoglou started losing weekly. Big up to you. He said, we just need to buy ready-made good players now. Yes. And I'm going to talk to Stella about this in a minute, but I have seen this morning, again, it's very difficult during transfer season, Martin, isn't it? Because this reporter says we're after them, and this one says we're after them, and we have fun speculating. But this reporter earlier was saying that Spurs are after Eze, Guehi, Tomori, and I was like, yes, get me a Tomori who's an experienced international defender and has won the league with Milan. Get me Guehi, who's England's main centre back that's brilliant at the back for Palace. Get me Eze. You know, yes, that's what I want to see, and I think Stel wants to see. I'll be livid though. And Stel, somebody in the chat has said this. And actually, I'll come to that in a second. Big up to you, Martin. I always appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Big up to you. Big up to Jess, JSY Talks Football fan channel. Please subscribe to Jess. Love Jess. Please do get over there. Subscribe. She's been a channel member for 1 month. 1 month. All counts. Big up to you. So smash the like button, she says. Thank you very much. James Watts says Rome or Paris, which is the better city? It depends. Am I going with my wife? What am I doing? Why am I going?
Paris is an absolute dump.
I don't honestly, like Paris.
Unless you go for food and drink, which is excellent, it's a dump of a city. Honestly, Rome all day long. It's beautiful, stunning place. If you like pizza, phenomenal. Honestly, Rome all day long, and the weather's better as well in Italy. Italians are friendlier too. French are arrogant. I don't hate the French, but not my cup of tea. I prefer the Italians. The Italians they're all right. I like them. Good bunch.
Well, thanks for asking the question though, James. Really appreciate that. Thanks for paying. Well. Love that. Guys and girls, come on. You're still really shit on the likes. 166, 520 of you in here. That should be at 300. Come on. Let's at least get it to 250. Yeah, listen, somebody in the chat ages ago, by the way, said the signing of Tell will set the benchmark for our summer window. And it will. And all I can think back to, Stel, is this exact time last year when we had the same conversation about Timo Werner. And I just really hope that history doesn't repeat itself, that we bring a bloke in on loan who's not done anything. Fans say, I want to see more, and that we waste our transfer budget on that. How disappointed would you be if Tell was a signing and part of our transfer budget?
Massively disappointed. Massively disappointed. It's everything that's wrong with our club when it comes to transfers. It's the same problem again. It's like I said to you, in 2019, we were in a really good place and we didn't push on. And every excuse, COVID, stadium, this, that. Okay, right. Well, that's all gone now. if we start signing tells, nothing's changed. It's like signing Ryan Sessegnon all over again. Like tell is like signing Sessegnon. It's like we look. Levy sat there at the parade, looking at 250,000 fans going wild. The trophy being lifted, fireworks, flares, smoke, partying. If he can't see what that means and to, change his ways now, he'll never learn. He'll never learn. If he's worried about Spurs being 17th, stop signing tells. In January we needed some players, and look what we signed. Kinski hardly plays. Tell rubbish. Danzo made sense. But that January window was a massive letdown. In hindsight, when you look at it, can't sign Tell. We don't need to sign Tell. We've got Odebert, we've got Solomon, we've got Yang, we've got Mikey Moore. What does Tell do that the current players don't do? That's the question. What does Tell do that the others can't?
Yeah, no. Do you know what? Absolutely. I think the key thing I want to say here as well, for anyone that is advocating Daniel Levy and Paratici, whoever are signing Tell, next season when you don't like what you see in attack, please don't complain, right? Because you're advocating spending transfer funds on players that still need to be coached. Yang will be back from QPR. He'll need to be coached. Mikey Moore needs to be coached. Jamie Donnelly needs to be coached. Odebert still needs to be coached. Yet you want to bring in a fifth one in Tell. It makes no sense. And let's get some... Nathan has said, you want a manager who finishes top 5, wins trophy, is dynamic, loves the club, has support for the locker room, and just done it. Nathan, yeah, but not all in one season. I think, if you're going to chuck the finishes top 5 in with the Windsor trophy... Sorry, are we just saying last season and this season blend into one? If he's got the support of the locker room, why have we lost 26 games of football this season? Is dynamic. I don't think his football is dynamic. I think his football's dreadful, but that's just me. I know that wasn't a question, but look, that's just me. Each to their own. I've got no problem with anyone that is. I think the problem is still, I don't have a problem with anyone that is Anjin. They have a massive problem with me for being like each to their own. Do you know what I mean? That's fair, isn't it? Right? Everyone should be allowed the right to their own opinion on that.
Everyone's got a problem with everyone at Spurs. There's always a problem. We can't get by the year without having a problem with each other. It's just this club's it's fucking mad. Yeah. The thing is, right? Look, I asked you this question the other day. What do you want? Do you want trophies? Do you want league position? You said, why can't we have both? And I said, no, I agree. But the problem is no manager has ever given us both under this ownership. So we can have it all at Tottenham, right? There's no reason why we can't have it all. Top 4, trophies, good football. There's no reason why we can't have it all. But to do that, I'm sorry, Spurs fans. You need quality players because the teams that give you it all, the Barças, the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Real Madrids, the Inter Milans, they've got quality players, all of them. They don't accept Tell, Gray, Reguilon. They don't do this shit. It's us that does it. And that's why we don't have it all. So if we want it all, we've got to have a different way of thinking in the transfer window. We can't have a budget of 150 million and buy 9 players. It's mental, man. Yeah. It's like, it's wild, and we do it all the time. We do it every single time. Like, I don't get it why no one points it out to the club. You do realise it doesn't work, right? I don't know, Sav. I don't get it. I've never got that. I've never understood it.
I agree with you. I want to stop buying 7 or 8 players in a window. I've said before, if Spurs this summer, Stel, turned around and bought 4 first-team players, right? And when first team, I don't mean, meh. I mean, 4 players that you go, that's our number one right winger. That's our number 1 striker. That's our number 1 DM. That's a number 1 left winger. If Spurs went and done that, bought 4 top players, right, for 150 million, 4 of the players from the first 11 dropped down, I'm comfortable with that for a window. It doesn't need to be 8, 9 players coming in. I just want to see better than what we have in the first 11.
Do you know what I think some people struggle with, right? If a player like Kvaratskhelia does more than Tell, Odebert, Gray, Solanke combined. He doesn't have all of them combined. So just sign one that does it all.
Yeah.
You know, and that way we don't need to have these arguments about tells and this guy. And we don't need to have them because Kvaratskhelia shuts everyone up. Obviously, we're not going to get him, but there's players out there. You know, I'll give an example. There's a stupid rumor we're linked to Sane, right? I mean, I don't for 1 minute think Sane's coming to Spurs. But some people saying,
just quickly, just before you go on about Sane, can I just say it's just been announced that apparently after Arsenal have got Zubimendi, I'll go. Arsenal are looking at Sane. Just letting you know.
Right. Okay. And that kind of leads on to what I was going to say. We've got some fans saying they'd rather start Tell or Odobert ahead of Sane. Okay. Do you know how mentally sick that sounds? Do you know how disturbing that sounds? I'd rather start Sane. You'd rather see Odobert start for Spurs ahead of Leroy Sane. That for me, this is where I lose it. I just can't get on board with fans when they do this. Mate, Sane is a top player. I don't care if he's 29. You know, Kevin De Bruyne, I'd have him for 1 year over any midfielder we've currently got. If De Bruyne came to Spurs for 1 season, I'd take him over any midfielder we've currently got. I really would. If he could stay fit, he's better than anything we've got in that midfield. But we would have fans saying, no, I'd rather start Bentancur. Like, why?
Yeah, but this is what we do.
Bentancur's good. He's not De Bruyne.
Kevin, I said this earlier, right, in my show. I said, loads of people were saying, oh, no to Tell, no to Tell. I said, I remember when everyone was saying no to Rafinha, right? And Rafinha's just absolutely ripped up La Liga and the Champions League. But we think he's good enough for Tottenham, right? We do this a lot. We do this a hell of a lot with players. No one is good enough for us, but they're good enough for others. By the way, AD, would I take Rayan Cherki? Absolutely. He is not a teenager, by the way. He is 21 years of age, and he has 198 career appearances. That, for me, is perfect. Yeah, that age is perfect. He's been a senior pro now for the last 5 seasons, but all the reports is that Man City want Rayan Cherki. We don't go toe-to-toe with Man City. Sorry, I'm not being negative. We don't.
Forget the player's age, AD. Forget the player's age. Look at the quality, right? It's like saying, would you take Yamal? He's 17. Yeah, I would. I really would take him.
Yeah.
Look at the quality of the player. That's what we've got to look at. Age means nothing if you're a talent. Obviously, talent plus experience is even better. But a lot of the youngsters we've signed, we took big punts on with no proven record at a level where we can say, do you know what? They've proven something. All of our youngsters were punts. All of them. Phillips, Bergvall, Gray, Odobert, Yang, Kinski. Every youngster we signed has been a punt. We haven't signed one youngster. See, Dele Alli was a bit of a punt, but it worked. But we don't really sign youngsters where we say, do you know what? There's something about them. They've proven something in the 1 or 2 years they've played football. Yeah. So Cherki's proven something.
Yeah.
Let's
go to a few comments. Where's my man Matt? I saw this and I couldn't help but laugh. Why can't we go for a Barella? Look, Matt, I would love Barella. I think Stel would love Barella. I think everybody in this chat would love Barella. But again, I'm going to say this to you. He's playing for Inter Milan as not a bit part player. He is their main midfielder. He is an Italian international. He has 4 years left on his contract, plays week in, week out for a team that fight for the title every year and fight for the Champions League every year. I'm sorry, but I just live in that reality where why? I'll ask the question. We can go for him, but why would he want to come to us? Is that ridiculous, though? Like, why would Barella leave Inter Milan for Tottenham?
There's no way he'd leave.
Right.
There's no way he'd leave.
Right.
We're not going to attract any player from Inter Milan unless we can double their wages or they're at the end of their career and Inter want them gone. So,
Because as soon as I saw this message, I went on and had a look. He's a 28-year-old, right? He's just signed a new contract till 2020. Sorry, he signed a contract extension that went for 5 years. That was last year. So he goes to June 2029. They're saying his current market value is 80 to 90 million pounds. He's got 61 Italy caps. I look at that and I say, I wish my club could sign players like that. But realistically, how many clubs in the world are rocking up to Inter Milan and stealing Nicolo Barella? Realistically, that's the sort of signing Man City jump in and go, hey, Barella, you want to come and join? That's not what Tottenham do. He's going to look at Tottenham and go, what? Why? Like, do you know what I mean? Why? It's not a big enough pull. Sorry, just for me. Another one, Modric back for a year on a free.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love Modric. Can you imagine him, though, in the kamikaze Ange tactics?
Listen,
His
it'd be great.
39-year-old legs.
Yeah. Look, he wouldn't play every game, but he'd be a great presence in the dressing room, in the training ground. He'd be great for the young midfielders we've got to teach them, guide them. And he's got, he's played for Spurs for 1 year. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
By the way, someone's saying Telly's not rubbish. Your opinion is shocking at times. Clearly never played the game. Now, look, when I love this. I love this, Paul. So
has Paul played professional football?
Well, hang on. I was about to tell a story, right?
Okay.
Just a little story. When I worked at Charlton Athletic, right, I worked with some pros that have won Champions Leagues in days gone by, pros that had won the old Division 1. You want to see how these guys debate each other on who is a good player or not. They've all played, they've all won the highest honours and all disagree on certain players. I remember sitting around once with Colin Walsh. Now, if anyone doesn't know Colin Walsh, then good luck because you're young. That means you've done well. Who won 2 back-to-back, what we would call Champions Leagues or European Cups for Cloughie back in the day at Nottingham Forest. He was coaching at Charlton. And I remember him, right? Him and Clive Mendonca had a row. Not a bad row, like not falling out. They had a row about Niall Quinn as a footballer. And this was before the playoff final. They're having a row about how good Niall Quinn was. Now, you had Clive Mendonca, who was the league's top goal scorer at the time and a professional footballer. You had Colin Walsh, who had won leagues, and they're both sitting there. He's going, I don't rate him that much. No, actually, if you look what he does, he's so underrated. Oh, I think he's overrated. So if footballers can disagree, if the Gillette Soccer Saturday panel can disagree on players, managers, why does that mean that everyone who's played the game, their opinion is right? Isn't that fair still? You can't just say, oh, so-and-so's played the game. Paul Merson. How much stick does Paul Merson get for his theory on this player? Oh, Jamie Redknapp said that. What does he know? So, Paul, I think you've got to grow up a tad there, mate. I didn't say Telly's rubbish, by the way. I just think we're in a position where we don't need any more kids, and he hasn't done anything in a Spurs shirt that shows me we should spend on him. He's done nothing in a Spurs shirt. Why is that so bad to say still? Why is everyone so insistent on signing these players who haven't done anything?
We signed Tell on a loan deal, no obligation to buy, because we needed attackers. So he came in at the end of January. So February, March, April, May. He came basically to play for 4 months. What impact did he have? Hardly any. So as a loan deal, which is what we brought him in for, we never brought him to develop him for the long term like we did with Graham Bergvall. We haven't signed him. He only came in to impact the team. We got worse in the league, not better. He was part of it. And he has, for the games played, his goals and assist ratio compared to Mikey Moore is worse than Mikey Moore. Go look it up. Goals and assists per game compared to Mikey Moore, he's below Mikey Moore. And Tell pretty much started quite a lot of games the last couple of months. So there is no evidence whatsoever other than emotional sympathy because he's young to justify what he did at Spurs. For me, he's Danjuma 2.0. He's Danjuma 2.0. Thanks. Bye-bye. I don't get it, Savva. He came in on a loan deal to impact us, and he didn't impact us. He scored a penalty, a goal against Wolves that deflected off his shin, and he passed the ball to Odegaard to score against, I think it was West Ham, but the ball was meant for Richie, and Richie missed it, and it fell to Odegaard. So, nah, not for me. No, I don't get why people think. Look, if people think it's harsh to criticise him, fair enough. But to justify him being good, on what basis? Tell Paul, I've got a question for you. Put in the chat, what has Tell done for you to claim that he's a good player? That's what I want to know. What do you see that I've missed, that Sav has missed?
But by the way, Stel, let's just say I'm not saying in 2-3 years this boy won't be good. I think it's the same with any 19-year-old, 18-year-old. With the right coaching, with the right club, the right manager, anything's possible. But what I'm saying is right now, we don't need another young winger. And if we sign him, we sign him. But then again, people want both ways. We want to knock Levy, but then you want him to buy these players.
See, look, again, right, in the chat, you got Billy saying Tell wasn't playing at Bayern Munich, so you shouldn't expect him to hit the ground running at Spurs. And someone else in the chat says the issue with Tell is his price. Forget that he didn't play for Bayern. Forget how much he costs. Answer this question. What has he done at Spurs for you to claim he's good? Right? If I was to ask that question, what's Johnson done? You can say to me, he scored 18 goals. All right, there's an argument to be had now. He scores goals. There might all be tap-ins and he might do sod all else during the game, but at least there's an argument. What has Tell done, people? Tell me. What has he done for you to even pay £10 million? To pay 15 million? What has he done? No one answers that question, Savva.
Mate, I know this is... I see what I always get in our group chat, don't I, when I ask about him? I see something. When I ask what, I don't really tend to get an answer. I just kind of get he looks... No, what? Listen, I've always said this, and I feel sorry. I feel really, really, doesn't look like I just got red there. What's going on there? I feel really, really sorry for him. Who brings a 19-year-old on loan to help a team when that young 19-year-old needs coaching anyway? You know what I mean? You don't bring 19-year-olds in on loan. 19-year-olds go out on loan to lower clubs to get game time and stuff. Let's have a look at some questions. George, I wouldn't. George, I wouldn't. I haven't seen anything that makes me go, yeah, develop him over more Odegaard and Yang and Donnelly. I wouldn't.
George, please, I beg you, listen. Answer the question. What has he done to justify him being good so that we should sign him? Tell me what he's done. I need to know what he's done because I think it's gone over my head. I've missed it. Tell me what I've missed. What price would you justify? I wouldn't justify 7 million because I don't know what he's done. I don't. What does he do? He runs around a lot. He beats a player once in every 10 attempts. He gets the odd cross in the box. He scored 2 goals in 4 months. 1 assist.
Isn't this the most spot on comment from Neil ever? Neil, you win comment of the day. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah. I agree.
And you know what we do, Neil? Neil, I'll add on to this. I'll take some of your glory here. What we'll do, Spurs, as always, we'll buy players. These very players we buy that we're told that we're too harsh on, in 3 years, our fans will be going, oh my God, whoever the manager is at that time, he's got to clear out the deadwood. Right? These players will turn in. You watched last year, I was told, we got rid of all the deadwood. This year, I'm hearing, oh my God, Ange's got so much deadwood to get rid of. Hang on. I was told he got rid of all the deadwood last year. How much deadwood is there? Let's go to another question. Guys, by the way, guys, I can tell if you're a troll in the chat. If you are, just relax. Calm down, because if not, you're just going to get blocked, right? Let's have a look at this question. Big up, first of all. Yes, please. Big up to you, yes, please. Said, you've done my head in all year. Thank you. But I respect you standing by your opinion, even if I disagree. Give Ange a start of the year and get him experience. Yes, please. Sorry for doing your head in, but you still watch. So thank you. And thank you for the super chat. And I appreciate that. We can disagree, yes, without being rude. So big up to you. Listen, giving Ange a start of the year and getting behind him and giving him experience. Listen, I need to know, does Ange want experience? He told me he didn't. Then he told me he did as a fan. So I kind of don't understand. Listen, we can give somebody the start of the year, but always remember, if you give a manager the start of the year and it does not work, the pool of managers you've got to pick from mid-season is different, right? And that new manager coming in is going to have Ruben Amorim syndrome, where they're not going to have the players they want to play their way. And we're all going to be like, what does he do? So I don't really like the whole give somebody the first few games, but I understand it. I'll meet you in the middle and say I understand it. But thank you for the super chat. Yes, please. Here you go. It's a good one. Tetley clearly likes his tea. Has said, Stel and SAVVA, I give you 4 players. Mbuemo for the right wing, Semenyo for the left wing, Jonathan David on a free up front, and Johnny Cardoso, 25 million. What do you think? Stel?
Mbuemo, yes. Semedo, I'm 50-50, but he's better than what we've got. So yes. Jonathan David, free, yes. Cardoso, I don't know. Yes to all of them. Cardoso, we need, listen, that 6 row is so crucial for the way we play. We need an enforcer. We need a Victor Wanyama. We really do need, or a Zubamendi. We need Onana. We need a proper beast technical player in that position. For me, that's not Johnny Cardoso. I don't see it. All the others, though, yes, Tetley. All the others I'd take.
Tell you what, people. Tell you what, if anyone wants to see what Johnny Cardoso is all about, he will be playing tonight in midfield for Real Betis against Chelsea. So, which shamelessly I'll plug is live on FHTV Plus. So feel free to come and join me. We can watch it together. But I agree. I don't mind Cardoso still. I actually think he's a good player. I agree with you though. I don't know if he's that enforcer. I think he's neat. I'd like Cardoso if we got an enforcer next to him. There you go. That's the sort of player I think he is. Do
you not think the number 6 is the most important position we need to address in this team next season?
That and a goal scorer. I feel we need a goal scorer. But yes.
So if we're going to bring in a recognised talent, a household name, that's not Cardoso for me. That's 100%.
Right, that sort of player. Yeah. I want Paulinho. He's tall, he's physical, he reads the game well. And if I'm not wrong, for the years he played for Fulham, didn't he break the record for the number of interceptions and tackles in a season or something? We need that guy. We need the guy. We need a Scotty Parker. We need a Wanyama. We need a Sandro. Whatever level we need that guy. We need we need that. We haven't got it, and we need it. We need it desperately. Europa Champions ×3 says, I built a time machine with enough plutonium. I like this. I like where this is going. For 3 trips. Wow. Who in history would you go back and grab in their peak for Spurs? I would grab Maldini, Best and Hoddle. Can I just ask you a question? If you've built a time machine with enough plutonium for 3 trips, why didn't you just build a bigger time machine and we could just do 1 trip and pick them all up along the way? Anyway, if you could go back and grab any 3 players from their history, any 3 ever. Go on, Stel. Any 3 ever.
I'd go and get N'Golo Kante, play him in the 6. I'd go and get Gareth Bale, play him left wing, and I'd go and get Thierry Henry and play him up front.
Yeah, I'm taking this guy, and I don't care where he plays. I'm not giving him a position. Just go and play. Just go and give the ball to Lionel. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking. I'm taking Maldini or Baresi. Maldini or Baresi.
Sorry, I thought it was for positions that we need. I wouldn't have gone and got a centre back. That's why. I thought that's what.
I thought he just meant free. I mean, doesn't really.
Whatever. Cool.
Yeah, I mean Maldini. I mean, greatest defender I've ever seen. I mean, left back, centre back, splitting hairs with Baresi. If I'm honest, who was absolutely sensational. But yeah, I would go with Maldini. Maldini at the back, Messi up top, and who am I going to go? Let me level this out of a midfielder. I kind of like the idea of George Best on the wing. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like the idea of Ronaldinho showboating.
Gareth Bale was the absolute bomb.
I'm going to go. When someone says any player of all time, it'd be easy. I could just go Ronaldo, right? I could just go Pele, Maradona. I'm going to go with George Best. I would love to see George Best running rings around defenders for fun. And then I want to see George Best pissed on match of the day, fighting, punching people. I want George Best, Maldini, and Lionel Messi. There you go. Great question. Jimmy said, whoever the manager, do we finish in the top 6 next season? I'll let you go first, Stel.
I think it depends on the transfers, Jimmy. Honestly, I think transfers are more important than the manager next year. I know some people will say manager's more important, but look, Ange got 5th 1 game a week. So I don't think it's about the manager. It's about the players for me. We need a better squad. The squad can get top 6. Can get it, but we're not just going to focus on the league, are we? We're going to focus on cups as well. We want to focus on more. So I would say, Jimmy, it depends who we sign. It really does, especially with the competition already signing top players. You know, we're up against them next season, and they're strengthening. We don't even know who the manager is going to be next year.
Yeah. I agree with Stel 100% about the transfers. I think it all depends on who you bring in. I also do think it matters who the manager is. My worry is we've seen that this manager can't play 2 games a week. And that was in a lesser competition. I still have serious concerns. He can do it in a better competition. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to go into. I'm not just going to go into a rant about Ange. We're trying to stay away from that at the moment. Let's see what the next question is. There's so many, by the way, guys. So sorry if I can't get to them all. Definitely Maine. Big up to you, my man. I said big up Stel, big up Sav. We surely need to bring in a goal scorer this summer. Solanke hasn't been in the level we need for our striker. Look, like I said to Stel just then when he said the most important position, I think it's twofold. I think it's the guy who sits in front of the back 4, and I think it's that guy that does that final job. I never wanted Solanke. So this isn't revisionism. I think I made that well known last time. I didn't want him. He's not my type of forward. He's the bloke I think that you have as a number 2. I think we need a goal scorer. I think we need a guy whose first thought when he gets 20, 25 yards out is, how am I positioning myself for a shot? With Solanke, I just never feel that that's on his mind. Selfless worker, yes. Pressing, work rate, can't knock him. I don't ever feel like this guy's going to score goals for me. And I didn't want him. So I agree. I agree with you. Stel, do you agree? He's different?
No, we need a goal scorer, 100%. Richarlison has to go. We've got to sell him. He's no good. He's not the answer. And I think we need to move Son on as well now. Son, leave on a high. You've lifted the Europa Cup as captain. Go. Sell Son, sell Richie. Bring in a goal scorer all day long.
Yeah. Soul Sniper Gaming saying Paulinho was rubbish at Bayern. I listen again, but we've seen what he does in the Premier League, right? We've seen what he does. Listen, he's made the move. He's not getting as many games as he would like. Sometimes transfers don't work out. Doesn't mean that they're a bad player. Look how many top players go abroad and don't work out. Look at Michael Owen. They didn't like him at Real Madrid, but he was one of the best goal scorers in the country here. So you've got to. I don't think it's as simple as just saying he was rubbish. Are you telling me, Soul Sniper, that you wouldn't take Paulinho as our number 6? Is there anyone in this chat that would not take Paulinho as number 6 next year? Because that will be crazy. That would be crazy.
We would be mad to turn our noses down to Paulinho. he's proven in the Premier League he's bloody good.
Oh God, yeah. There's just I like it. He's been there, seen it, done it. He knows the Premier League. Apparently, he's got a house still in London. Good. I'll tell you, that's an interesting one. We talk about that a bit later. Oh, Kaka, never gets talked about enough.
Oh, my favourite player ever. I can't believe I didn't even mention his name. I love Kaka. Favourite player I've ever watched. I love Kaka. Top player. Good player.
Yeah, and again, it would have been very easy for me to pick the Brazilian Ronaldo, who, for me, pound for pound, as a striker, is the best striker I've ever seen. He was different. He was different, but so different to anything I think many had ever seen. Saw him on the beach in Rio de Janeiro 10 years ago. There's an interesting, not really interesting story. Let's get to another question, shall we? My mate Matt's, but I do like my mate Matt. Said, Mbeumo wanted by United, you want to go toe-to-toe. Yet when I suggest someone like Wharton, you laugh it off. Matt, there's a reason I laugh it off, because Wharton of Crystal Palace is what? He is English. English players do what? They come with a massive tax on them. Crystal Palace have just bought Wharton, who is being raved about. Crystal Palace are in no financial trouble at all. Yeah. How much money do you think they're going to ask for Wharton? Palace, by the way, can ask whatever they want. I reckon they're going to say, you want him? 80 million. He's English, homegrown, tax, good young DM that plays in there, good box-to-box DM, good pass for the ball. You think Crystal Palace are going to let him go for what we'll pay for him? We'd have to break our record. I just can't see it happening, mate. We missed the boat. It's just my opinion. Mbeumo will be 50 million. Mbeumo will be 50 million. Yes, toe-to-toe with Man United for Mbeumo. Is what I'm saying crazy, or does that make sense still?
I think we can get Mbeumo, but we're not going to beat Man United on wages. If they say to Mbeumo 250 grand a week, we're not going to do that. It's that simple, Matt.
But with more Wharton than Mbeumo. Like he's been at Palace for 18 months. Everyone's talking about this kid. Palace are just they're in no financial trouble still. Steve Parish is not going to go, what, 50 million? Yeah, I'll take it. He's going to go, no.
To buy players from Palace will probably cost more next season because they're in Europe. They've got a bit of pulling power now, aren't they? They're in the Europa. Glasner's a good manager. They've got a bit more pull, so I think they can hike the prices up. Whereas maybe last season it would have been easier. So we can get him, but again, Palace will demand a silly fee for him. They'll demand a stupid fee for him, and we won't do that. I don't see Spurs doing that.
Oh, Jesus, David. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't mention my man, David. Big up to you. That's very funny, whoever that is. Yeah, listen. And by the way, Matt, listen, I know we disagree on a lot. I don't disagree with you that I would love Spurs to take a Wharton. I think Wharton would be brilliant for what we need. But sometimes you miss the boat. He's been there 18 months.
What do you think his price tag is, Salah?
I reckon Palace are going to put 80 million on him, minimum. He's English.
Yeah, we're not paying that.
Yeah, you know.
To be fair, that's what happened with Arsenal when they tried to buy Zaha from Palace. Palace put an insane fee on it. And in the end, Arsenal had to pull out and they ended up buying Nicolas Pepe. So Palace have got a history of this, and they know they'll get the money. They'll know they'll get the money. So
yeah, look, listen.
Declan Rice went for 100 million, didn't he?
Right.
Declan Rice.
Look, the thing is still, I know, like when we talk, we try to look a little bit more in depth into things, and people say it comes across as negative. Listen, I'd love Wharton. I'd love to think that the club I support can just go, how much, Palace? 75, 80, boom. Not how we operate. And let's be brutally honest. If you want to go and pay 80 million for Adam Wharton, what else are you buying in your transfer window? Like, let's be brutally honest. I don't know how much money you think is going to be spent. You want Wharton, you want a striker, you want a winger, you want and again, then Matt, when I suggest to you that, okay, well, we'll have to move on players like Romero and Kulu then to balance some books. Oh no, can't get rid of our players. Well, you know, that's how life works. You could say we have money, but Daniel Levy and the way the club operate, we don't just splash our cash, do we? Joe has asked this, Stel. He said, this is a harsh one, but do you rate Mikey more? As I've not really seen much in him. Hope I'm wrong. Stelios, Mikey Moore.
I do rate him, but not as much as I think a lot of other fans do. When he's played for us, I've seen glimpses of what he can become. I also think on 2 occasions he was played out of position, which didn't work. And he seems to shine more against lesser opposition, Tamworth, Europa League in the group stages. So in the Premier League when he's played, he's not shone as much. So he's a player that needs to either get more game time, regular, or he needs to go out on loan to get that game time. I don't think he's the answer right now, but I've seen enough for us to want to stick with him. So there's definitely a player in him. You can see it. I can see it when he tries to take on a player, his vision of threading a ball, even when he pings one diagonally. He's a player. For me, he's a player, but he's not. For where we are going now, he needs minutes. The boy needs minutes on the pitch, and he's not going to get it regularly at Spurs, unfortunately, from what I've seen so far. So probably a loan deal will do him the world of good. A loan deal. Look, Donnelly, Keeley, it's done him the world of good. Dorrington, done him the world of good. Go out on loan for a year. Probably in fact, yeah, I think a loan deal is the best thing for him. Sava, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I was whistling for the dog. That's why. Sorry. Phil, I hope that Frankie de Jong is out of favour at Bayern because he plays for Barcelona. So, and by the way, do I think a player like Frankie de Jong is completely out of our reach? Absolutely. If Frankie de Jong goes on the market, every club's going to want him. Pep will take him like that. I can guarantee you. Frankie de Jong is class. Look, this is the thing. For me, I think we need to work our way back. I think we need to. I've invited a special guest on, Lubo.
How are we doing?
Lubo, let me ask you.
Lubo.
We'll go back a question. Any 3 players you can go back in a time machine, who are you getting?
Oh, Gaza, Hodder and Ardiles. That would be a good midfield this season, wouldn't it, eh? Coming?
He said,
What a
he said it
midfield
like
that would be.
Like that. It's just...
Because he WhatsApped it to me. Saying,
oh, right. Okay.
Don't let anyone ever say I'm biased, please.
No. Lubo, it's an interesting one, isn't it? We're talking about an Adam Wharton from Palace, who I think we all agree is a good player, but it's not really realistic anymore, is it?
Well, I saw a price in one of the papers the other week of 120 million.
Right.
And why wouldn't Steve Parish want that? Yeah, if Declan Rice is worth 105, you know, Wharton's got years on Rice, so there's more potential there. You know, another 15 million for Wharton on top of what Arsenal paid for Rice, definitely. Definitely.
Well,
Go on, Daniel, break the bank. Let's see what you're made of.
Well, he's got 4 years on his contract, and let's be fair, Crystal Palace are going to be in no need to sell, are they? Crystal Palace they have no need to sell a player on 4 years, and just trying to make people aware that, you know, it's very difficult. Like, you know, we've got people talking about Barella from Inter Milan, and I do think that people need to realise what lane we're actually in. Don't they, Lubo? We've got to be somewhat sensible.
You know what's frustrating is that we must have watched Wharton on many occasions. We must have watched him on many occasions when we were watching Ashley Phillips. So, how come we didn't get the 2 of them?
Yeah,
18 million. 18 million.
But by the way, I want to say I don't think people like Phil realise when it gets to this stage, it's not what they're worth; it's what the club can command for them, right? It doesn't. There's nothing to say Rice is worth 105 million, but West Ham said you want him, you pay. that's what Palace will do. Palace won't sell him for 60 million. Why would Palace sell him for 60 million? You know, I think we've got to be realistic here. Lubo, just quickly before I go back to Stel, somebody said in the chat that they said it might be a bit harsh, but that they don't rate Mikey Moore. They've not seen anything in him. You're a big component of the youth at Spurs. You watch him play a lot as a youngster.
I've seen him play in the 10. Seen him play at under 21 level at the age of 16, 17, and he's absolutely smashed it. The potential there is absolutely unbelievable. But we need a top manager that's going to bring him in, introduce him into games at the right time, give him the right number of minutes, and let him come into a team that's coached and drilled. You know, I remember feeling he played really well against Alkmaar, had that 15-minute cameo that was absolutely brilliant in October, got thrown straight in against Palace on the Sunday, and the whole team was shit. Excuse my French. The whole team were absolutely dreadful, and I felt really sorry for him, because you know you want to introduce kids into teams that are purring, not a team that's struggling the way we did. And you know, Palace came out, they had Eze and Walton playing for the first time I think all season, or maybe for many weeks since the beginning of the season, and they came out and they were a completely different team to the team that had started the season. And I felt sorry for Mikey. And you know, he came on against Everton, put that lovely ball in that Richie scored. Goodison in the last few minutes scored that lovely individual goal against Elfsborg, was it? I think this year. He's you know, you can't throw him in when there's 5 or 6 rotated players. You know, you've got to put him in a team that's doing well, with 9 or 10 first teamers around him. The kid hasn't really had much of a chance this season, and it was broken up. The season was cut in half for him because of his virus. So you know, it's taken him time to get back. He looked, I mean, he was, you know, I was just watching him on the pitch celebrating on Wednesday night. He was just over the moon. But we need a proper manager next year, someone that's going to bring him on. This kid for me is the only generational kid we've had coming through the academy in the last few years out of all of them. I think he is going to absolutely smash it, and we just need the right people to bring his development through.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. By the way, can we stop saying silly things in the chat? I mean, people suggesting that we try and get Vitinha from PSG. Vitinha is not leaving PSG to come and play for Tottenham Hotspur. We've got to stop this. Listen, guys, I know everyone's on a high from winning the Europa League. This doesn't mean that all of a sudden all these top players just want to come and play for Tottenham. I'm hearing that, well, Ange will be able to persuade them. Why? Ange has never persuaded a top player in his life to play for him. He's never had players at the caliber of Barella. He's never had players at the caliber of Vitinha. So can we just... We've got to stop the silliness. Let me ask you both. Just quickly, Chelsea tonight, before we go back to Spurs questions. I know we want them to lose. Do we think they will lose? Real Betis with no Giovanni Lo Celso tonight? I bet it's going to beat them.
Is he injured again?
Apparently he's injured.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Be interesting to see Cardoso. Chelsea play a reserve team, don't they, in effect? They don't play their Premier League team. So, who knows?
Apparently he's got a muscle injury, looking at this.
Betis are a decent team, aren't they? Could be anything.
They are. They've got players like Isco. And by the way, don't discount Anthony. I think the Anthony that plays not for Man United, I loved him at Ajax. I'm loving watching him at Betis. He's very good. I know people will say about Man United, but he's very good. So I think they've got some players. And the boy up front's a big, powerful lad as well, Makumbu. He's a big, powerful striker.
I'm not just saying this because I hate Chelsea, but I've always had a feeling that Chelsea would lose this competition at some point. I think Betis will win it, you know.
You know what that means, Still? That means Chelsea are going to win it, because I remember you saying that about Spurs. There's going to be a manager that Angie's going to come up against. You remember? So
Yeah.
So if you're going Betis, I'm going Chelsea.
But I also told you not to go to Anfield because they're going to smack us in the Carabao Cup, and I got that right. So we can choose and pick. Look, God knows, right? It's a cup final. But I always felt this season that, you know, I've got no emotional attachment to Chelsea. It's not like Spurs. I'm in and out of it because I go to games. I'm on YouTube. I just always felt that Chelsea wouldn't win it for whatever reason.
Yeah. By the way, yes, Marios, there will be a watch along. There will be a watch along for it tonight on FHTV Plus. There will. Guys, listen, I don't want to. I haven't had a chance. I did see there was one. I will get to it, and I will respond. I promise, Mark. I get sent about 50 emails a day from people on YouTube. It's crazy.
Do you know, SAVVA, do you know what? Spanish teams in cup finals tend to have a really, really good record. Spanish team, especially in all competitions, they tend to turn up in cup finals. The Spanish. Where is the game? What country is it in?
It's in Poland.
Poland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been loads of trouble out there today.
Has there?
Well, of course, because Chelsea fans are out there. Of course, there's trouble.
Yeah. Guys, I'll go for another 5 minutes. We'll ask a couple of questions if you guys are good for 5. I know you're walking the dog, Lubo.
Yeah, all good.
Big up to my man, Andy Lester, with a super sticker. As always, really appreciate you. Thank you very much, mate. And I do think that you put in a question.
Sorry, sir. I was going to say, would you not reckon about Cardozo scoring the winner, and then when he lifts up the trophy, he pulls up his shirt and there's a Spurs kit underneath? How's about that?
Saying Angin on the front of his Angin.
Yeah, Angin.
Do you know what? You watch tonight. If Cardoso has a good game, you know Spurs YouTube X.
Yeah.
It's going to be full of, oh my God, we've got to get this boy. Andy Lester, quick question. QQQ. Anyway, big up to you. Big up Andy. He said, big up to you both. Are you concerned that if Ange stays and we spend big on his players and it goes wrong and he doesn't change, the next manager has to build on angry players rather than reset? So basically, Andy, is the question you're asking the guys, basically we would have done a Ten Hag Amorim situation, right?
I think if you sign good players, it's actually a good thing, not just for Ange, but if Ange gets sacked, assuming he's not the manager, the next manager will inherit better quality players to work with. I'd much rather we sign. Look, it's the bit here where he said if Ange spends on his players, it depends what players he wants that he views as quality. That's going to be the thing, isn't it? It's really, Andy, I can't really answer this question until the transfer window ends. That's the truth of it.
Yeah,
I need to see who comes in.
If Ange starts but doesn't last, there'll be an interim manager just for the rest of the season, and then Mr. Pochettino will be back in the summer.
Well, I've got about 5 to 10 questions starred that all ask this question, by the way, guys, which is, do you think, I'll summarise, they're all about Poch, but in a different way, right? Lots of people are saying, do you think that Daniel Levy will take the risk on Ange, knowing that next summer he can get Poch? Now, I'll add on a question to you guys with this. Yes, Poch is available next year, but only after the World Cup. So can you have a manager joining you after the World Cup? How does that hamper preparations? Is there any substance to that theory for you guys, or is that a really dangerous long game to play?
Poch isn't coming back, right? Levy's had plenty of opportunity to bring back Poch. He could have brought him back when Conte came. He could have brought him back when Nuno came. Could have brought him back when Ange came. He can bring him back right now if he really wants. I don't believe Poch is coming back to Spurs anytime soon. I really don't. Nice emotional thinking, but I don't see it personally, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Poch and,
Aussie do. Sorry, go on, Lubo.
Poch and Harry next summer.
Oh Jesus,
Wait and see.
we really do live in the past, don't we? We really do live in the past. We're getting Luka Modric back this year, Poch and Harry next year.
And Archie Gray is captain.
Yeah,
Archie Gray is captain.
Well, he could be in 2 years' time. You never know. You never know.
By the way, would you take Inzaghi if Paratici persuades him? I think I speak for all three of us when I say yes.
Oh,
but
just a bit.
I'm pretty sure that
bit.
Inzaghi's got an offer on the table of £25 million a year from is it Qatar or Saudi, one of the two.
Daniel Levy is never going to pay £15 million a year for another manager at this club. There's no bloody way after what happened. Every time a big manager is linked to our club and the salary's huge, our chairman's brain's going to think Mourinho, Conte, and he's just going to absolutely panic. Levy will never do that again, even if it's the right move, even if it's the right play to do that. There's no way this manager would do it. This chairman would do it again. I'd be astonished if he did. After what happened in the past.
Always comes back to him, doesn't it? Always comes back to him.
Pretty much.
Oh, look who I've got. The two biggest Levy out people in the world on my channel. Here we are. See, we get everyone here. We get everyone.
Where's Sean? Where's Sean? We need Sean. Where's Sean?
Come on.
Come on, he's Levy out.
Billy, listen. I think we need to stop doing this. We need to absolutely stop belittling Pochettino just to drive home the point that Ange won a trophy. I feel like this is getting really stupid. Pochettino did a magnificent job for many years at this football club. Yes, it started to go wrong at the end. Yes, the relationship with him and Levy went south. But can we please put a little bit of respect on someone that... Am I talking out of turn here, Stel and Luba? I mean, there's got to be some respect on this man's name.
Poch took our club to a Champions League final where the standard of teams was on a different scale to what we've seen in the Europa this year. So seriously, if people are comparing Ange to Poch, give your head a wobble, guys. Seriously.
It's mad. It's mad. I just don't know why the disrespect. By the way, a report coming out from James Ollie. I can't remember where James Ollie works, but I know somewhere. I said Tottenham have serious interest in Leipzig star Xavi Simons, and that.
Yes, I heard that. I read that today.
This question that I saw earlier from Phil Coys. Sorry, Phil, I did see it somewhere. He said, "Big up SAVVA STEL. I think Xavi Simons could be a great addition." I like Xavi Simons. That's the type of player I want Spurs to sign. I will not say no to Xavi Simons. I think technically he's very good, can play in a couple of positions, and he's got that bit of go in him, you know, guys. He's got that bit of ability, technical ability.
He was at PSG, wasn't
he? He was at PSG, PSV, then PSG again, and now Leipzig.
Good player. Good player. We've got to raise our standards when we're looking at established players in the market. It's actually key, because if we don't get four really good established players, you know, we can kiss next season goodbye.
I agree.
This squad is nowhere near good enough next season. We're 17th. Okay, you know, if injuries are better, you know, if we get a different manager. Not saying we're going to go anywhere near challenging for the Premiership, but we'll be much, much higher. But we need those four players to do it. If we don't do it, it's, you know, forget it. Forget it.
By the way, my mate, just to say, Savva's a disgrace. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He then came back in. I like this one. Said, "Okay, Savva, I like it now." He's calmed down because the caps locks have turned off. He's calmed down a little bit, guys. All right, we've gone caps locks off. Says, "Okay, Savva, I'm just asking about how you're angry after a cup final we won." I mean, who said I'm angry? I think you guys mistake my passion for when talking about football with anger. I'm not angry with won a trophy at all. I'm angry with the league position. I don't rate the manager, but I'm not angry. I think this is a bit silly. Guys, just quickly, lots of people asking about Garnacho in the questions. Any interest in Garnacho?
Looked decent, didn't he? Sounds like a bit of a wild. Seems that he looked decent when he came on still. He was the only one that, he looked.
He talks too much online, and for me,
Yes.
he's a disruptive force in the camp. We can't have these players.
Well, that's the other side of it, isn't it? Because when he came on, for the first time, United looked really dangerous, didn't they?
Yeah, but he's hit or miss. 1 week he's good, next week he's not. 1 week he's good, next week he's not. When he doesn't like what's going on, him and his agent have got a lot to say. For me, I want a happy camp, and I think he's a bit of a disruptor in my view. I don't want that.
And he'll block the path for Mikey Moore as well.
And he'll block the pathway for Tell.
Do you know, the thing is, I actually think there's a very good player to be coached out of Garnacho. But I think you're right. Someone so young to be so vocal online, and it just means the moment something doesn't go right, he's got all this hassle. But I do think that he's going to have a good career. I do think he's a winger that likes to beat his man. He's not got bad stats in his career either for someone so young. And listen, there was a couple more I saw that I thought would be good. Hey, Chairman said, SAVVA, have you changed your view on Spurs as a club following the trophy win? No. Your whole YouTube shtick has been Spurs never win anything. I think you're confusing me and Stel. I think Stel goes more down that route than I do. I'm not knocking you, Stel. You do, right? You go down that route more than I go.
I'm all about trophies. I'm all about trophies.
So I think you've got me confused, HM. My shtick is not about one thing. I have many shticks, right? So, but thank you for the question. SAVVA, can you confirm that Ange's Tottenham conceded more goals this season than Pochettino did in 3 seasons? I can confirm 2 seasons. I can't confirm a 3rd season. That's pushing it just a little bit. In the 16-17, 17-18 season, Spurs conceded 26, then 36, which, if my maths is right, is 62. This season, Spurs conceded 65. So, yes, in 2 seasons, in 1 season, Postecoglou has conceded more goals than Poch did in 2 years. So, yeah, not the best, but hey, it is what it is. Guys, I'm going to leave it there unless anyone's got anything really pressing that they would like to add to anything.
Just please, Tottenham, sort out the manager, football director thing ASAP, so we know what we're doing as fans and we can get some direction in the transfer window. Don't drag this out and just ruin whatever position we've managed to find ourselves in, which is, we're in a good position at the moment. Yeah, we've got to push on, and it really is all eyes on the board right now. It's down to them. They're the decision makers, so please speed it up.
Yeah, they've got to start. They've got to make decisions, and they've got to set the path now, because if we leave it another couple of weeks, we will start falling behind other clubs.
Yeah. By the way, Dean Jones, anyone know him as a reporter or someone in one of the press? So Hotspur related has just put out that Tottenham have made, again, I don't know, I'm just reading. Tottenham have made initial contact about signing Liam Delap. The club intend to accelerate talks this week to sign the Ipswich Town striker, said Dean Jones. Also, James Ollie, whoever that is again, same as just now, said Tottenham are talking to Rodrigo Bentancur about a possible contract extension.
James.
So there's some Spurs news flying around. Gary Jacob has said that Arsenal are targeting Leroy Sané. I don't know. It's going to be fun, isn't it, this summer, guys? There's going to be a lot of chat, and we're here for it. Every day I'm here for it.
Like every summer at Spurs.
Yeah.
Every summer.
Yeah, Liam, listen, do you know what? It makes me laugh, Alex. It makes me laugh. I was shitting myself at the end of that final, but people didn't want to see it. I think that half of my issue is I'm not somebody, when you watch these watch-alongs, guys, there are people that fall off their chairs, they punch their chairs, they pick up their screen. I've never really been that, even if I'm in a stadium or in a pub. I'm a little bit more composed than that, if that makes sense. And I think people want to see me losing my mind either way, so they misconstrue it as SAVVA didn't even celebrate. And I'm like, well, no, I'm doing my thing, but hey, it is what it is. Guys, girls, thank you very much. Stel, thank you for all your time. Lubo, thanks for jumping on. Guys, join me in an hour on FHTV Plus. We'll do the Betis to the home team, Betis Chelsea watch along, and see what those lot down the road do. Bittersweet for me tonight, the Chelsea one, because all of my wife's family are season ticket holders at Chelsea Football Club. So if they lose, it gives me a little bit of bragging right over them for the first time in 17 years. So it gives me something. So I hope that they lose. Take care, everyone. Much love. Just remember, everyone, it's just football. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribers. Subscribe to Tottenham Away. Take care. Stel's off to rebrand his brand new flip-flop line. And the rest of us, Ange out. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.